Не хуже, чем на флешке. Он разведчик. Ну, для нас он шпион, для них он разведчик, то есть герой. Он морпех. Он увешан орденами. У него одна проблема, две. Проблема первая – три. Проблема первая – он белый. Вторая – мужчина. Третий – он, судя по всему, все-таки гетеро. Понимаешь, а этого сейчас вообще не прощают. Это...
Okay, friends, welcome once again to Look and Live. You are here with Pastor James DeVallon. In this video, I'm going to share the perspective concerning Brittney Griner and her returning home. First of all, I want to say, Brittney, welcome home. Happy for you. I know you're happy and you're glad. This is not so much about you. This is about what's happening from the landscape of political perspective and also seeing a deeper picture of what is being said here. In today's video, we're going to check out what the Russians are saying. Friends, they are laughing at the Americans for the way we have swapped Brittney Griner for the Merchant of Death, which is the nickname of Victor Bout or Boot, as they refer to him. Now, this is a big deal for a number of reasons. First of all, let me tell you a little bit about Victor. So according to sources that we are given here, Victor Anatolovich Boot is a Russian arms dealer, a weapon manufacturer, and a former Soviet military translator. He used his multiple companies to smuggle arms from Eastern Europe to Africa in the Middle East during the 1990s to 2000s. Boot gained the nickname Merchant of Death and Sanction Buster after British Government Minister Paul Hayne read a report to the United Nations 2003, Boot's wide-reaching operation, extensive clientele, and willingness to bypass embargoes. Furthermore, we are told he has several more nicknames all highlighted here. So we're talking about a serious criminal. Part of the things he was doing with these arms, who knows how many lives were actually destroyed as a result. However, the Biden administration came forward, and we're going to listen to the video. Make sure you keep watching to the end, guys. They came forward and were excited about this switch. Let's listen from Corinne Jean-Pierre explaining what this means for the Biden administration.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
President Biden keeps his promises, and today he fulfilled a deeply important promise to bring Brittney Griner home to a family that loves her, a team that misses her, and a country that has marveled at her strength and courage. Brittney's safe return home is a product of months and months of painstaking negotiations that were the culmination of extraordinary efforts across the U.S. government. Officials from the White House, the State Department, and across the administration worked tirelessly and relentlessly to see this moment through. As the Secretary of State said publicly in July, we have been engaging in intense negotiations with Russia, pursuing many different avenues over the course of last 6 months to secure Brittney's release. And we know Brittney fought tirelessly too. Throughout her ordeal, we saw Brittney, a two-time Olympic gold medalist for Team USA, demonstrate strength, courage, and dignity. As the president said this morning, she represents the best of America. I had the opportunity to speak to Sherelle Griner a couple of hours ago, who is looking forward to seeing Brittney as soon as she returns home later today. Sherelle, who herself has handled Brittney's detention with incredible strength, asked me to communicate once again her sincere gratitude to everyone in the administration and in their own broader support network who made this day possible. She also wanted to reinforce the commitment she and Brittney have made to stand up and speak out for other Americans wrongfully detained abroad. While we're celebrating Brittney's return home today, we have also continued to be in touch with the Whelan family, for whom this news brings mixed emotions. In recent weeks, it became clear that while Russians were willing to reach an agreement to secure Britney's release, they continued to treat Paul Whelan differently given the nature of the totally illegitimate charges they have levied against Paul. Unfortunately, the choice became to either bring Britney home or no one.
What?
Okay, before Westbrook goes off, okay, this is the message that was put out there. She represents the best of America. Okay, we're not gonna argue with that. We're just gonna move on. This is Paul. Okay, Paul release put on spotlight. Paul Whelan, another American. So what was the crime of Paul? They said, okay, we have not forgotten Paul. That's what they said. Okay. Mr. Whelan, a former Marine who became a corporate security executive, was arrested at the Moscow hotel in December 2018, accused of spying. He was convicted in 2020 as espionage charges that the U.S. government says were manufactured. So, however, these charges that were arraigned against them were not supposedly true, according to what is being said. This is a military personnel who was caught and charged falsely in Russia, according to what is being said. Like Corinne Jean-Pierre says, it was either Britney or no one, which I have a lot of questions concerning that. But however, this is the swap so that you see it here. There you have it. So this was the swap. Britney's coming home. Paul went home. Not Paul, Victor Boot or Victor Bout. He went home. And people are furious for a number of reasons. This was not a fair swap, according to the way this is being presented as well. It sounds to me, if you were to ask me, it's more like a political move. I'm happy for Britney. She's an American. By all means, we want her to be home. Okay, she's an American. What she did in Russia was wrong. I hope she learned her lesson and never do it again. However, did she deserve to take preeminence above Paul, a Marine who was serving his country, who is accused falsely, who's been there longer than her, who was being negotiated for prior than her? It's kind of, I have a lot of questions concerning that. And to say that the Russians did not want to negotiate, we need more proof than just words here. Why wouldn't they want to negotiate Paul or Victor? Why wouldn't they want that? Why did Britney get preeminence? Why did she get the first opportunity to leave? Questions that we're asking, we're not necessarily sure with the answers, but this man is left behind, a soldier, but the basketball player is coming home. Okay, now the Russians have something to say about this. They are laughing in our faces, and this, what you're about to see here, it's about a 2-minute clip. The words are below. Friends, it's embarrassing, but nevertheless, we got to go through this. And this one was not easy for me to get through. I'm like, man, that's messed up. This is how they look at us. Nevertheless, let's get through this thing.
Меня очень позабавило, хотя не удивило, то, что обменяли Буту все-таки на Грайнер. а не на Уиллана. Я, во-первых, поздравляю Бута, поздравляю всю его семью. Мы много лет были на связи с его семьей, насколько было это возможно с ним самим. Как-то, насколько это было возможно, общались. Это, конечно, огромная радость, облегчение для всех нас. Ну, для всех нас, ладно, что это для семьи, я даже не могу себе представить. Но то, что его обменяли не на героя-разведчика.
Не, пиар нужен.
Ведь он же разведчик. Whelan, да? Он разведчик. Его приняли,
Шпион.
что называется, при передаче информации на флешке. Он там рассказывал, что это он на флешке хотел, вот ему должны были фотографии церквей, Сергию поставить.
So, according to them, Paul was a spy who was taking photograph on a flash drive of churches and so on. That's what they believe concerning Paul Whelan.
На флешке. Фотографии церквей по WhatsApp друг другу передают. Правда же, как мы берем? Смотри, где я был. Для этого флешку не приносит. Вполне себе нормального качества, не хуже, чем на флешке. Он разведчик. Ну, для нас он шпион, для них он разведчик, то есть герой. Он морпех. Он увешан орденами. У него одна проблема, две. Проблема.
Now, this is the part that really threw me off, because what she's about to do here, she's going to give you the perspective of many in America. Unfortunately, this has become the norm. But listen to what she's doing. She says Paul has three main problems, and these were the reasons why Brittany came home first. Brittany was selected prior to Paul. Now, listen to what she says.
Он увешан орденами. У него одна проблема, две. Проблема первая. Три. Проблема первая. Он белый.
The first problem is that he is white.
Вторая, он мужчина. Третий, он, судя по всему, все-таки.
The second problem, he is a man. And the third problem is heterosexual. Lord have mercy. A white male heterosexual, according to the Americans' way of judging and picking character, is considered a lesser than a black basketball lesbian girl. Did you get that? That is disturbing. From a Russian perspective, this is how they feel about us. Friends, it's a shame. It's a shame. It's disrespectful. He said, I love my country. Listen, I would rather be an American 100 times more than I could ever be a Russian. I don't have a slightest desire to be among the Russians in any way. I love my country. But we got some serious issues here. What they're saying about us here, it's not false. It's true. We are placing value on things and individuals and groups and ideology, wokeology, racial warriors, social justice warriors, race monglers. We place more value on homosexuality, transgenders, lesbians, basketball players than we place on our soldiers who defended our home. That is concerning. And the Russians are looking at this, they all laugh. And that's not funny.
Гетера. А этого сейчас вообще не прощают. Это катастрофа.
Не, ну Грайнер
И
здесь
ты понимаешь,
бьет его по всем параметрам.
и как может
She said Brittany Griner beats him on every aspect. Every aspect. American voters were given a choice. What was the choice?
американскому избирателю дали выбор. Герой, пострадавший на службе Отечеству. Он
A hero who suffered while serving his fatherland. Choice number one.
же по службе пострадал.
A medal-covered hero who suffered during his service, referring to Paul.
Герой, увешанный орденами, пострадавший за то, что он работал на свою родину, на США. Или чернокожая лесбиянка.
Or a black lesbian, I'm reading their words, hooked on drugs.
Лесбиянка, наркозависимая, пострадавшая за какой-то вейп с гашишем.
Who suffered for a vape with hashish.
Американский
И очень
избиратель...
известная.
Да.
Очень известная. То есть в пиаровском плане...
Американский избиратель выбирает очевидное.
The Americans are choosing the obvious. Lord have mercy. This is so disrespectful. Like, this decision gives the world a perception of the mentality of our world leaders in ways that these individuals in Russia are laughing at us. Now, we know not all Americans believe this, okay? The vast majority of us do not go along with this notion. However, they looking at it, they say, these guys are silly. You give up the merchant of death for a basketball player? WNBA that very few of us watch today? You give up that guy for her? You guys are crazy. That's what they literally saying about us.
И я считаю, что для нас это вторая хорошая новость. Первая хорошая новость, что Буд вернулся, а вторая...
You hear the sarcasm and the cheesiness and the scoff, the ridicule. Mercy.
Вторая хорошая новость, что нация, которой до такой степени наплевать на своих героев, что она считает значительно более...
That is so messed up. I knew I was going to be triggered by this. A nation that spits on his heroes to the extent. Isn't that something? Isn't that what we've done to our soldiers now? The men who fought for our freedom, we place so little value on them. This little thing, this is not a little thing. This move, this swap, this switched between Victor and Griner, it shows at the fabric of our political perspective spectrum, there is something wrong in our perception. Something wrong in our perception. We know it. Some of us knew. The world, the Russian knows it. They're laughing. How do we clean up this thing now? How do we clean up? How do we, as a nation, the greatest nation on the face of the earth, how do we now present ourselves to the rest of the world as a competing, powerful nation once again? Because the way they look at us is like these guys are just a bunch of, woke monglers, wokesters, social justice warriors. They care more about skin color than they care about value, purpose, calling, integrity, and character. We care more about emotions and feelings. This is not good, guys. As an American, friends, I'm sad because I'm like, yo, we gotta build this thing back up. This is not good. They're laughing at us.
Важным вызволить действительно за дело пострадавшую. Пусть она известная, спортсменка, неважно. Но она пострадала не за то, что она родине служила, а за то, что она гашиш свой не могла.
She didn't suffer because she suffered her motherland. No, she couldn't live for 10 hours without hashish. So they're pretty much saying she was a drug addict. You're defending a drug addict. Yeah, she got money, she's black, she's tall, she's a lesbian. Therefore, anything they say, go.
Без него там 10 часов обойтись или сколько, да?
Friends, I'm just taking her words for it, okay? Say what you want to say about Britney. I'm okay she's home. I'm glad she's home. She's an American. Regardless of her gender, regardless of her drug habit, I don't necessarily care so much about that. All I'm simply saying is this is what these Russians are saying about us. And Paul should not have been left out. That's all I'm saying is my argument.
Вместо того, чтобы вызвать человека, который 2 года уже сидит, на секундочку, и который родине служил, и за это служить, это о многом говорит. Это много говорит о состоянии этого общества, этих спецслужб и всего того, что имеет отношение к противостоянию геополитическому.
Wow. That's a tough one to get through. I don't want to say anything else. I'm just going to end this video. What a shame. What an embarrassment. I'm telling you. Lord have mercy. What done happened to us? I'm going to share a verse with you. Then we're done. I'm so glad God doesn't work this way, man. There is this picking and choosing that we do in this culture. We place value on one, demote another. Look what's happening over at Twitter right now. So political. Censor this group and protect that group. Favoritism, bias, virtue signaling, all that nonsense. It's a shame. These things does not belong in American politics. It doesn't belong in our country. We are better than that. We are better than that. We need to get our mind back together. There is no respect of persons with God. See, the thing is, we place one above another. God doesn't work like that. We place the girl with the money, with you know, she's a lesbian, she's tall, she's black. She comes home first. And the man who was serving his country, we spat on his face. That's not okay. That's not okay. That means you place value on one for a particular reason above the other. But in God, there's no respect of persons with God. He treats everyone alike. Same value, same grace, same mercy is extended to every man. It doesn't matter who you are. Unfortunately, we as men, we treat people for different reasons, for political reasons, of course. You know, you and I both know it's not about Britney. This is about political expediency. I said it. This is about 2024 election, making the Democratic Party look exceptionally well in the eyes of the wokesters. This is about, hey, look at us. We helped Britney. It's in our record now. It's in our belt. We're going to remind you of this. As a result of that, vote for us. That's what's going to happen. That's what it's going to be used for. That's exactly what it's going to be used for. If Paul Whelan had come home, many in that political spectrum will not have benefited from the votes. You know, who would have cared about the Democratic Party had Paul Whelan come home? Very few. But Brittany Griner comes home. You got the blacks, the LGBT community. You got Hollywood, the WNBA, plus the NBA. All of these guys are going to say, oh, yeah, man. Well, you see the problem, though? You're still showing respect of persons with God. You're not valuing the man, but instead you place more value on her because of selfish reasonings. I'm calling you out. Anyway, this was a tough one to get through. Anyway, I can stop right there. 22 minutes long. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Like and subscribe to the page. Comment below. Share your thought and perspective with me. It is what it is. Happy for you, Brittany. Live your life. Love our country. Respect the flag. And stay away from drugs. Good godly principle. This is not disrespect. Stay away from that. You're better than that. If you ever watch this video. But again, said enough. Until next time, and as always, remember to look unto Jesus, to live by faith. Have a good one. Bye.